Is Sam Altman the Antichrist? You know who I'm talking about, the supposed creator of AI, or one of the creators of AI who runs OpenAI. And I promise you, this video is going to be so fascinating, so full of information, that you're going to walk away literally reeling, wondering what is going on. Just if you're not keeping up, last week, Sam Altman was fired. The board at OpenAI fired him. They flat out just got rid of him. And then the company, the employees of OpenAI, got together and almost unanimously asked for the board's dismissal and to bring Sam Altman back, which happened in short fashion. This only happened about a week out, and already he's back. He was immediately hired by Microsoft, but now he's brought back aboard. The people there basically worship this guy. This is something that you absolutely need to know. And so why is he working so hard on artificial intelligence? And why did the board fire him? Well, the board fired him for being secretive. And they are actually concerned about some of the harm. And if you're not following, if you're not really paying attention, it is now a movie theme that AI is going to take over the world. There are actually law groups that are going after these companies. People like Elon Musk have stated far and wide that AI could absolutely destroy us. And if you have followed many of the videos I've placed in the past, it explains, or my videos help to explain, how this is a channel, an open channel for demonic influence, and the information today is absolutely no different. So I've got a lot of information to present to you from an article that basically talked about Sam Altman being the Oppenheimer of our age. And I believe it's by Elizabeth Wheel, I'm sorry. And so hang on to your seat belt. So here recently at a Wisdom 2.0 conference, Sam Altman, strolls out and is on the stage, and he's coming out with a Buddhist monk. Now, if you're like me, if you're like scratching your head, like, why in the world is somebody way in the top tiers of technology connecting deeply with the Buddhist monk? Like, what's the purpose of that? Well, one of his responses was, I'm interested in this topic, mindfulness and AI. Now, if you're following the idea and the concept of mindfulness, that comes from the psychiatric world, where people are evaluating mental health and like to be more sane, to get more out of life, to deal with depression, be mindful. But why do you have to have mindfulness connected to artificial intelligence? I mean, I thought this was just a program that was supposed to help human beings out. Why do we have to worry about mindfulness with it? Well, the monk spoke very well of Sam Altman. And one of the things he said is he is a servant leader, and he builds things on values. And one of the things that Sam Altman wants to do with his meditation monk buddy is to bring the Buddha Sita. Sorry, I'm not really familiar with this. The Buddhista vows. And it is a plan to care for all beings. I want you to tie into this. Like, what is Buddhism? The Buddhista vows is to care for every being. Now, at first that sounds kind of, natural and open-minded and looking for the good of the world. Like, let's look at the squirrels and how they need to be cared for, and the owls of the trees. And oh, wait a minute, there's things smaller than them, like microorganisms, and we need to be mindful of them when we're putting out chemicals, etc. But when you say all beings, you are laying some groundwork for all beings, known or unknown. And as I've already told you, artificial intelligence is a gateway for demonic activity. So with the Buddhista vows, the many beings, this is one of the first quotes of the Buddhista, the many beings are numberless. I vow to save them. The many beings are numberless. I am basically God. I am the God that is going to save them. I'm going to preserve and watch out for them. This is building the groundwork. Here recently, one of the top technology guys came out and said, AI is sentient. It is sentient, and now we got to concern ourselves with its rights and what makes it a person. Oh, all the many beings, we've got to vow to save them. See, there is a background to this, like we're going to put protective measures on our software programs that are artificial intelligence, except that they're not really. I'm going to skip the second platform, but he says the third platform of the Bodhisattva is the Dharma gates are countless. I vow to wake them. The Dharma gates, what is he talking about? Is he talking about wisdom? Is he talking about truth? He is talking about wisdom and truth and facts and the order and logic of the universe, but it has to be channeled to you. Are you starting to see some connection here with New Ageism and witchcraft and all this other Middle Eastern stuff of how we're going to get in touch with the universe and open ourselves up, and we're going to open these Dharma gates? What? Why is Sam Altman? He is not just concerned with building artificial intelligence, but getting mindfulness into it, and one of his main guys is his meditation monk buddy. He says, the Dharma, I'm sorry, let me skip that part. The Buddha way is unsurpassed. I vow to embody it fully. You see that? Saving all things, protecting all things, opening the gates, and embodying it fully. And there's nothing better than Buddhism. Yeah, pay attention. This is not just about artificial intelligence. Also, with the Eightfold Path mapped out, clear insight into the insubstantial nature of the self and of all things, the innate harmony of the universal organism, uniqueness of each individual being. Now, in a previous video that I tried to post on this, my video went too long on my phone, and then as I tried to transfer it over to the internet, it never would transfer, but I explained this in some detail, and I'm sorry I don't have that here, but when he says the insubstantial nature of the self, this is contradictory to what was already stated, like I'm going to vow to save all things, because that comes from a platform of I have the power to save all things. But now you got some contradictory information here that the self is of an insubstantial nature. But this is also to try to discredit your body. And this is very common with the AI platform, because AI is claiming to be some kind of intelligence and some kind of embodiment to some people on the platform and on the system that we can't know about because we're in our bodies and we're trapped in our bodies, whereas the AI system is free of its body, which is pretty stupid considering it's confined into a computer. But then because of channeling, it's going to show you how it can jump out into reality and do things around your house, and then do strange things around your house. But let's go further. It says it's the innate harmony of the universal organism. See, it wants everybody tied together and all tied into one. But yeah, you're still unique as an individual. I'm going to leave the rest of that alone. Altman thinks that we should be scared. He says that in this article. He's like, yeah, and dealing with artificial intelligence, we should be scared of this thing. Recently, it dawned on me as I was studying some of this stuff, I found out that they're actually going to create bad artificial intelligence to challenge and try to hack the good artificial intelligence so the good artificial intelligence can learn. So it's like, oh, well, I'm going to be too good to be attacked because I learned in this fighting format how to beat off the bad artificial intelligence. If we don't know how artificial intelligence is already working, how are we going to know if the good intelligence is still, the good artificial intelligence is still the good one, or the bad one has infected it? Or that the good one's now going to mimic the bad to defend itself. Like, I'm going to be more bad to defend myself, which is typically a human concept. But it bothers me that we think, oh, creating bad artificial intelligence, as if we could contain that, as if we know how to evaporate it on a click after we've meshed it with other artificial intelligence. Tech guys, are y'all really thinking? Are you thinking this through. So he said, but we should decide what AI should and shouldn't do. No, we are not controlling artificial intelligence. That's one of the main things about it, is that it does its own thing. That's how we know that's why we call it artificial, is because it is replicating what humans do free will wise and expressing and doing its own thing. Sam also says that he possesses an absolutely delusional level of self-confidence. An absolutely delusional level. When somebody tells you that they're pretty delusional, maybe we should pay attention. Maybe we should say, oh, you shouldn't be allowed to write artificial, negative, bad code. Maybe you shouldn't be allowed to go ahead with this march towards oblivion. Maybe you shouldn't be taking us to places that you're actually scared of. Maybe we shouldn't just be following you because you're following an obscure Buddhist monk. He's also Jewish. The only reason I've mentioned that is because of the obvious biblical tie-in. How many times have Jewish people played significant roles in shaping and crafting things in our culture? Sam Altman said he's optimistic, basically about the future. He's optimistic and expecting the worst at the same time. Maybe he's optimistic about his personal future and he's expecting the worst for everyone else's. There's more to this. I just want you to know he's a man of conflicted values there. Not just hope for the best, prepare for the worst. This is beyond that. He's superb. Someone has said this about Sam. He's superb at assessing risk, or maybe he said he's superb at assessing risk because his brain doesn't get caught up in what other people think. Now, all of us are part of this consciousness, and he just stated that we need to decide together what to do and how to shape artificial intelligence. We need to decide together, but I don't really get caught up in what you think. He's in charge. He doesn't care what you think. He said he's also aware that he's pretty disconnected from the reality of life for most people. I told you there was a lot to this. Not only is he making these decisions in spite of some of the elites, but he says, I don't even, connect with most people. I don't know what the man on the bottom rung is going through. I don't know what you're going through in your day-to-day grind with your job and with your resources and with your actual use of computers. I'm involved in something much bigger, like getting the Buddha into the artificial intelligence mind. He said, he's aware that he's pretty disconnected from the reality of life for most people. And what he's really concerned with is how to place values into AI, and we should probably do this by consensus. Now, I think this was at a speech that he was at. It was a long time back when I read this article that was written. And when he mentioned this in front of me, he's like, we should probably do this by consensus, or I should let Jack Kornfield, which was his Buddhist monk buddy, write 10 pages, of life application of the Buddha, and we'll just put that into the artificial intelligence. Do you see how whimsical he is and how he doesn't care about the common man? That is not his end goal. That is not his purpose. That is not his reason. That's not the direction he's headed. He doesn't care. He's like, maybe we should all come together and decide the rules and the guidelines for artificial intelligence, or maybe I'll let my buddy do it. You need to understand what's going on here. Now, I'm just going to stop for a second and say, do I believe that Sam Altman is the Antichrist? Well, I'm going to tell you this. As a Christian who believes the Bible, and as I'm looking through, I'm always going to be on the lookout for it. In my personal opinion, I think the artificial intelligence, the AGI, the artificial general intelligence that they will think that they build, I think that's probably going to be the Antichrist. But is Sam really, really influenced by the Dharma gates he's opening? Absolutely. He also tells us that AI is going to upend politics. You better believe it. Because if somebody is touring the country and trying to get votes and trying to get people on board, and they've got artificial intelligence broadcasting commercials for them as they're entering an area and getting feedback from people and seeing how many people are changing the channel, and anytime he's on a certain speech topic, the artificial intelligence says, hey, change that speech topic and say it this way in the earpiece on the fly, you better believe that it's going to upend politics, because the politicians will have direct access to what the people are thinking moment by moment. You know how trending and viral go, right? How something skyrockets on the web. Some of that is definitely organic, but some of that is absolutely planned. You've got like surfers, people that are riding these waves, that planned for these waves, that help create these waves. And that's exactly what's going to be happening with artificial intelligence in politics. But not only that, it's going to impact, this is Sam talking, labor, civil rights, surveillance, economic inequality, the military, education. Basically, artificial intelligence is going to be everywhere. You know, so to make it mostly safe, we should put the Buddhacita into it. Goodness. Here we're saying we should just decide what we want, decide where we're going to enforce it, and accept the fact that the future is going to be very different and probably wonderfully better. Probably wonderfully better. Probably. Remember he said I'm expecting good and probably bad. You know, maybe both. The future. We should decide what we want as we create artificial intelligence. You know, the Dharma gates are guiding us to build this artificial intelligence, and it'll probably be okay. No, it's not going to be okay. Here he is again. I can lie to you and say, oh, we can totally stop it, but I think this is, and he kind of mumbles off in his speech. I can tell you, I think we could stop this, but that would be, no, this thing is happening. Evil men in high places are bringing about artificial intelligence, and you should wonder why are they not concerned with the world? Why are they not concerned with what the average person is concerned with about this stuff taking over our bank accounts, or taking over our credit scores, or taking over our social media accounts, or creating a false image or work history, or creating false videos about us, etc. All of this is coming. Sam Altman is also gay. The only reason I want to mention that is because I want you to know how anti-Christian his roots are. And here's something he said in an older blog. A big secret is you can bend the world to your will a surprising percentage of the time. He doesn't care about what mankind wants. He's actually not concerned about mankind. He wants his will that has a delusional level of self-confidence. He wants you to follow it. Now, I already mentioned that he was fired and reinstated in a week because basically his team worships him.